I'm going to show you the basics of creating a chatbot inside of ManyChat for your real estate business so that you can automate your lead generation, your qualification, and your follow-up all inside this program, ManyChat. So this is a part of a series of ManyChat Basics 101. And in this playlist, if you want to go back or forward, depending on when you're watching this, you can watch different videos about all the sections of ManyChat to give you a whole overview of how to operate inside of ManyChat. So let's go ahead and dive in. For this video, we're going to be covering the flows and how to create a flow inside of ManyChat, which is basically the core of what you do for creating a chatbot. It all starts with the flow. So this flow, all you have to do is go to your automation and then click new flow in the top right hand corner. And when you do that, it'll open up this starter options right here. I will be covering triggers in another video. But the trigger is basically what's going to send people into this message. So how they will receive it, either through a link, a growth tool, direct message, another flow, anything like that. This is coming from the trigger. But from here, you're going to create your first step. Most of the time, it's going to be a messenger message, or it's going to be an Instagram message, or if you also want to set up email and text, you can do that as well. But we're going to basically walk through the messenger flow. Instagram is essentially the same, and you can duplicate your flow from Messenger to Instagram once you create it. So if you want to create a flow for Messenger and Instagram, create one inside of Messenger, finish it all up, and then you can convert it right here, the top right. You can convert the channels to Instagram. Also inside the flow, you can create basically Messenger messages that also sends email and text and does all these other things. So this is basically the content right there. That's what you're going to start with. Not always, but for basic understanding, I'll show you how to do that. The other ones, actions that are included are the logic, which are the actions. So you can add tags, subscribe to sequence, notify admin, all those different things under actions. Conditions, so that you can send specific messages to people who meet specific conditions. So you send one message to people with a tag of buyer, and you send another message to people with a tag of seller. You can create that inside of the condition. Randomizer will send different messages. So if you want to create multiple versions of a message, let's say you're talking to someone, and instead of just sending people the same message over and over, you create 4 different variations. You can use randomizer and send those 4 different variations of a message that are similar but sound different. You can use this for split testing just to see which one works better, or just customizing your bot a little bit more so that it uses different verbiage for different people. And then the smart delay will delay a message from being sent. So if I if I send a message, they click through and interact with the chatbot, and then I put a smart delay for 1 hour after that message, and then create another message. In 1 hour, when they're done with that first flow, they'll receive the second flow because there's a smart delay there. So I'll kind of go into a little bit more depth of those here in a minute. Excuse me. But let's dive into the Messenger content right there. So when you click on Messenger, the chat text box just pops up. You'll have up here you'll have the send within the 24-hour window, which is the normal what you're going to do. Most of the time, these messages, unless you're sending a broadcast, you're sending the message to people. If people are coming into your chatbot to find this message, to click on something that sends this message, they will be within the 24 hours because they're looking for this message, and it sends it right when they're interacting. The outside 24-hour window if you need a pro account for, but also there has to meet different guidelines, which I'm not going to cover in this video. I'll cover in another video. but understand that Facebook does have a 24-hour rule where you have to send automation within 24 hours. And then there's other things you can do outside of 24 hours to be able to get messages to people and also do follow-up and all that stuff. And then you can do it as a comment reply, but not with this message. Because you need to add the Facebook comments trigger, which goes through the growth tool. So obviously we're not doing that here. So we're going to keep it as 24-hour rule. Then you have, like I said, your text window. This is where you write whatever your message is. Okay. Click on option below to get started. All right, so whatever your message is, whatever you're using your chat for, whether it's a greeting, whether it's trying to qualify them as a home buyer, a home seller, you're going to write that message inside of the box. From here, you can do several different things, but actually, let me show you this real quick. The emojis that you have are right there. Just hit that smiley face and you can add emojis. And then these brackets show different system fields and information that you can input into the text. So you can say, let's say hello, first name right here. Hello, first name, and welcome. All right, so that's going to get replaced with their first name, obviously. So you can use all kinds of different data that is automatically provided, like their phone number, or not their phone number, their name. Don't use a lot of those ones in this specific context, but another one you might use is further along inside of the chatbot is their phone number. Say, hey, we have this number on file for you. Is this correct? And then you input phone number. Is this correct? They'll see that number that has been submitted before, and then they can verify it and all that stuff. Same with email, same with any kind of data that you're able to collect. You know, we have a lot of custom user fields, which again, I'll show you further in this training, but they would be under here where you can basically, let's say they come into a home buyer sequence. They say they're looking for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. You capture that data with a custom user field, and now you can show them. I'll show you right here. Purchase bedrooms, purchase bathrooms. Let's say we captured that data from them. All I have to do is click purchase bedrooms. Now I can say, hey, are you looking for 2 bedrooms? Blah, blah, blah. That's the type of data that you can enter into any kind of chat text box with these brackets inside the system fields and user fields and all that stuff. All right, so from here we want to essentially the guidance and how the chatbot works is that we're asking questions and giving them options for answers, as opposed to just, you know, you're talking to ChatGPT, you're just saying something and it's giving you a reply using AI and all that stuff, and it's not, you don't know what it's going to respond with. Whereas this chat flow, you are giving them a specific reply to a specific question that you want them to ask. So, i.e., how many bedrooms are you looking for? They click 3. You go to the next questions. How many bathrooms are you looking for? They hit 2. You know, what city are you looking in? They hit Tampa, Florida. That's you're providing them with what is going to be responded to. So back to the buttons here. You have 2 different type of buttons. You have regular buttons and you also have quick replies. First one is going to be the buttons where they can just click on these and then they don't disappear or anything like that. You click on them, you can click buy, you'll get the message, and then you can scroll back up to the text and you can hit sell. Whereas with quick replies, if you have buy and sell, when they click on this inside of their conversation, the buy, like let's say they click on buy of the quick reply, those two options are going to disappear and it's going to go to the next message. So they can't go back and click on sell. Whereas with the buttons, they can go back and scroll back up and click on sell if they want to change their mind or whatever. So those are the two ways that that the quick replies work for you. So let's go ahead and delete these. Delete. Yeah, so from here we're gonna have, we ask them a question, click an option below to get started. Let's say they want to buy a home. We send them. We have different options. We have the messenger reply. We'll have an email, actions, conditions, randomizer, smart delay, and start a different flow. So start a different flow is if you already have a home buyer flow created, like we do in the real estate bot template, we can just search for the flow. Oops. Buyer. All right, so home buyer question flow. Oh, that's IG, but oh well, that's fine. So now this button goes to a completely different flow that's already created, and we don't have to. And basically, they just receive this message, then go into another flow that's created. So that's what you can do with start a new flow. I'm gonna show you how to create your own flow here. So we're just gonna go to another message. So we click. So they click on buy. Great. Let's help you out. All right, so we have a message, and then again, you have all these different options. So you can add images, like you can add a meme or a GIF or something, GIF, however you say it. Someone jumping up and down and say, "Yay, we're gonna help you buy a home," whatever you want to enter there. Or if you have a photo of yourself or your team or something, like giving you a thumbs up, you can input that photo there, just to give it a little bit more personal connection for them. The card is basically going to have an image with a title, a subtitle, and you can add buttons to it. And it also has multiple cards that basically turn it into a gallery so that they can like swipe through these cards. So if you have different images with different titles, something we use this for is when we provide listings. So we'll show a image of the house, the street address, some details about the house, and maybe a button that goes to the website where they can view more stuff about the this property. So they can swipe through 3 different properties. They can click a button that opens up your website to receive more information there. Let's go. The next one is audio. You can drop an audio file in there if you want. And my favorite is video. Putting video inside the chatbot is going to make your interaction 100 times better with anybody who's coming through your chatbot, interacting with it. They'll see that it's not just, automated chat with nobody in sight. Like, sure, it's a recording video of you, but at least they know that, okay, this is what the person looks like. If I want to get to a real person, that's the person I'm actually going to be talking to. So it gives them a connection for you. It also builds rapport while they, see your face and everything. They'll be able to connect with you a little bit better in that interaction from lead to client is going to be a lot smoother with videos added into it. Then you got files if you want to drag and drop a like a home buyer guide. Delay if you want to send one message and then you send another message. Click below to get started or whatever. It's going to send, great, let me help you out. Then it's going to show that little typing bubble for 3 seconds. Then it's going to pop up another message. So it kind of gives it like someone's actually typing. I don't really use that a lot because it's very obvious that it's a chatbot and there's not really like that kind of makes it seem like they're spending time typing on something when like it's a chatbot. It's not hidden. People just want to get the information fast. And if they have to wait 3 seconds, they might be like, okay, this takes too long. I'm out of here. Then let's see, messenger list, user input, and dynamic. I'm not going to cover those. I'm actually going to cover user input real quick because this is how you capture the data for your subscribers. So when they come in and you want to, capture them as a lead and ask them questions about buying a home. Let's say, how many bedrooms do you want? You're going to have to use the user input for them to put in that data where you capture it inside of ManyChat. So as opposed to just a regular chat box, there's no data that's being able to be collected with it. Whereas opposed to the user input, we click on it, you'll see that this is the user input that's going to be collected. So we have reply types of text, which means they can just freely write whatever they want as a response. Multiple choice, which is what I use a lot. So I'm going to put, 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, or 3 bedroom. So now they can select 1, 2, or 3 bedrooms in the quick replies, and then this data is saved as a custom field. Again, like I showed you before, you're able to represent that that data. Let's see, bedrooms, purchase bedrooms. So we have them in here because it's a template and everything that's already been created. But if you are creating this yourself, then all you have to do is name it whatever you want and save it. Beds. All right, so you'll see here, custom user field, create a new new user field, purchase beds. So name it whatever you want and click that new user field and basically save it to be collected in their data. So we're going to go to purchase bedrooms. All right, so now we change it to reply type, multiple choice. We gave them options. We save the custom field. And now I'm not going to cover all this. There's more things that you can do, but it's starting to get a little bit too much, I think. I just want to kind of give you the basics here. So how many bedrooms? They click that. After this right here basically means it's not going to move to another message until they click on the button. But what we want to do is create another box to respond to them. And we're going to create another user input. We're going to delete the text. How many baths? Okay. We're going to change it to multiple choice. We're going to give them the replies. 1, 2. You can obviously write whatever you want in there. You can write up to 20 characters. Hit done. We'll save it as a purchase bathrooms. And then done. So that is the quick explanation of showing you how to capture the data. So we use these user inputs. We give them, we ask the question. We give them answers by using multiple choice. Again, you can use text, if you put in text, they can write 1 bedroom, they can write 2 bedrooms, but giving them the option to just click on a button makes it a lot faster and more engaging and more likely that they will click through and answer the questions, where as opposed to if they have to type everything out, it's slower, it requires more from them, and it's going to decrease your conversion ratio. So giving them multiple choice as much as possible is the best way to do it. But if you have a question that can't really be written in a multiple choice option, like let's say, tell us what some of your must-haves are when you buy a home. Like they need to write something out. So you're going to use a text, and you're still able to collect that data in that text user field. All right. So real quick, the other options for the user input are number. So if you want to collect a specific number, and you can do multiple choice with numbers as well. First name, last name, email if you want to collect their email, phone if you want to collect their phone. Those ones are used a lot, obviously. URL, file, image, location, date and time. Those are used for appointments. So those are the reply types. and that is the message there. So essentially, I would keep building this out, and I would go towards the end, and I would say, thanks. We will be in contact. Texting. Then you can add some buttons. It can be call an agent. It can be go to our website. It can be book appointment. And then all these buttons have different options that you can select. So for calling an agent, you can directly put in your phone number and they click on that button and it's going to call the number. For website, you can add open website and you do www.yourwebsite.com, hit done. Book appointment, you can do a website as well. But again, the other things are you can send a message with that button. You can send an email with that button. You can perform a specific action, condition, randomizer, smart delay, start another flow, and select existing step, which I'm not going to cover in depth, but there are multiple things that you can do with those buttons. And that's basically the basics of creating a flow and all the options that you have inside of the flow builder. Real quick, I didn't really cover like the actions and stuff. I'll just show you the different actions. So let's say right here, we want to create an action that adds a tag of home buyer. Buyer, again, you can create a new tag. These are tags are already in the account, so I'm just going to click on buyer. And then I continue the next step. So within the background between them clicking on buy and receiving this message, a tag gets added to their account saying that they're a buyer, which I can use later down the road for many different reasons. So you can create all kinds of tags and add tags to them. Let's see, you can remove a tag. I'm not going to cover everything in here. Subscribe them to a sequence. So if you have a follow-up sequence, we're going to subscribe them to the 8-week buyer follow-up email and text. From there, we're also going to subscribe them to the buyer qualification follow-up. So we got these different sequences that are already created inside of the template. Again, you can download to the template and get to the template at realestatemessengerbot.com. Link is in the description. Let's see. You can unsubscribe them from a sequence, mark conversation open, mark it closed, assign a conversation, notify assignees, set custom fields. All these different things I'm not going to cover because there's a lot that doesn't necessarily have to happen inside of a basic flow building video. And yep, so those are all the actions right there. And that's basically how you add the actions. You can add them in between messages. You can add them, you have an option to add them on the reply. So when they click on the button, you can create a specific action right there. And it still just kind of goes, as soon as they click on a button or reply, the action will happen, but it'll also go to the next step. And obviously they don't see that happening inside of the background there. So yeah, so I'm not going to cover conditions and randomizers and stuff here, but that is the basics of creating a flow. And actually, let's go ahead and show you. You got an auto arrange steps right here, so you can see that it kind of like smooths it all out. You can go in and out. You can hit control or all right, I always hit the wrong button. Okay, so I'm hitting shift and select, and I can select multiple flows and move them around. We can duplicate any of these messages that we created. We can delete them all. Select whatever ones you want. And we got the plus button up here if you want to just throw in any of the contents or logics or anything like that, you can just throw a message. It'll pop up in the middle of the screen, and you can drag and drop it wherever you want. You can also throw in some comments in here. So if you want to add text for your information, or if you're sharing this with somebody, you can add some descriptions in the text, and that's just something that's shown inside of the flow builder, not something the person going through the flow sees. You can hit preview. This preview doesn't have everything, like the quick replies aren't working in the preview just yet. But if you go to the regular Facebook preview, it'll open up on your phone, and you'll be able to test it out and test the quick replies and all that stuff. And then you got your options for rename, duplicate, convert channels, copy to another page, delete, and revert to published, and also undo and redo if you mess something up. And the last thing I'll say is you always hit publish when you're done working on something. Otherwise, if you like close out of it and try to preview it, it's going to go to the published version of that flow. So it might be completely wrong because you did a whole bunch of editing, didn't hit publish, and then it's not working because you didn't publish the flow. So that is flows in a little bit longer than I wanted it to be, but the next couple of videos will be covering triggers and keywords and all that stuff, so stick around. If you're watching this when the video comes out, it'll come out in 2 more days. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, drop it in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more training videos like this and to help your real estate business grow and get automated. All right, see you guys in the next video.